It's time for more Theros Chaos, our mythic odyssey of Theros and the giant mess that you guys tend to give me to deal with every single week.
You're welcome.
Out of the many plans I had for last session, what actually happened?
Well, we were fighting a bunch of harpies,
Indeed, you were.
and then Skuttz got the big brain idea to try to keep the captain safe under her fourth dimensional bag, and a bunch of stuff sprayed out on the beach.
Before you had a big brainwave, Skutz's Zolk's bell rang. Too many Z's. Zolk's bell rang and mutated Neil. Zolk, you got mutated as well, didn't you?
Yes.
Because I know a third person got mutated. Two people had meh ones, and Bennett got wings. You don't have wings anymore because you had a rest, but you had wings, which proved very useful.
That was all right.
And yes, Skuttz had a big brain moment and decided to protect the captain who was being harassed by harpies by putting him on the inside of the granny bag, by putting the outside of the granny bag, or the inside of the granny bag on the outside, and vice versa. Not knowing what happens when you turn an extra dimensional space inside out. I believe 18 things fell out.
It was 18 things plus a jar of mimic goo, which rolled the additional 4 things,
An additional
which
two
brought
things.
out the Oni.
There were two major things that fell out. There was one of the dryads that you had captured while defiling Nylia's Grove, and the Oni, a champion from the pits of Tethmos. The dryad disappeared and wasn't seen again. The Oni was a little bit more engaged, though. What did he do?
Breath weapon doors.
He breath weapon. Well, technically, Cone of Cold, he magicked you. But yes, he breath weaponed you all. He definitely breath weaponed you all. Which dropped 3 players. Most of the harpies and the captain. And then turned himself invisible and ran away. But not away from you. Just away from where he was standing. Where did he end up?
He stole our boat.
He stole your boat and the 3,000 gold's worth of treasure that was on there. No, he attempted to steal your boat. Which Bennett took great offence to. Flew up at full speed, slammed down 2 oil lanterns that set the back of the boat on fire. And to try and combat this, the Oni had the big brain idea to use gaseous form, or at least a modified version of gaseous form, to turn the boat gaseous. But again, nothing can escape Bennett's will when he wants something to die. And you use 20 points of story to turn the gas that was on fire into methane. And it exploded. It was a big explosion. You are unsure whether or not the Oni survived it, but you know for sure the boat and most of the gold did not. Oh, I'm sure you've got other ways to make money in D&D, in Theros.
Still kind of a shame we lost all that money.
A little bit.
It was a donation to the gods.
To be fair, that was where you got most of the gold from, as it was part of Zholk's looting spree.
Additional taxes.
You then found the frigid body of the captain and decided to attempt to give it a proper burial at sea. As much as Zholk was just drunk with blood at that point, Nadryn, you did manage to give him a decent enough farewell, letting the sea embrace him once again, even though he had done terrible things such as stealing from Thassa directly. You think that your words and actions have changed Thassa's opinions at the very least. And you limped your very broken bones back to the little hut at the centre of the island to rest. I believe, Skuttz, you were taking the first watch, Bennett, you were taking the second, and Zholk the third. We've already covered the first watch at the end of the last session, where Skuttz, you saw almost a magical rain sort of filtering down that seemed to be absorbed into a lot of the plant life around the base of this hilltop. Although you are far too injured to want to investigate further for fear of provoking anything. So we'll go on to the second watch of Bennett. Make a perception check for me. Okay. So you sit while the rest of the party sleeps away, trying to let their bones knit together again from a sleep, is D&D's one. And there's not really a lot that you can spot. The place is quiet, but not unusually so. You can still hear the movement of large animals, the chirping of birds and insects and the like, but nothing that seems to feel like an immediate threat. Well, the next few hours pass without too much difficulty, and you wake up Zholk to take his part of the watch. Zholk, I'd like a perception check, please. Okie dokie. Again, same again. As dawn breaks, you can hear the movement of creatures, but nothing overly concerning. Although, as the sun finally crests the horizon, you do notice the forest itself shifting, as if a large amount of something is moving through it, almost like pushing past a lot of the trees. Coming from the north.
Unless it ever sounds like it's coming towards us, I'm just going to ignore
It's
it.
definitely coming towards you.
Ah, shit. Alright, wake up Mr. Burbles first. Then Scott.
Looks down at you as he raises his head and looks around. Hopes you have snacks.
That depends on what's coming. The snacks may be coming.
What's up, Zholk? Skuttz brushes the sleep from her eyes.
Just listen. And I'll just point in the direction.
Skuttz, make a perception check.
Right, she will went off into the dark.
You look over in the direction that Zholk is pointing, just in time to see the first of these creatures break through the foliage. The herd of Ankylosaur make their way to the next part of the trip around the island, munching away. They seem to be heading for a lot of the plants that you saw that weird magical rain fall upon the night beforehand.
I was so right. I definitely want to eat these plants. She looks like shiftily over to the the closest bunch. Zolk, I think we need to follow where they're going. She's gonna signal to Mr. Burbles, and she's going to start following where the Ankylosauruses are going.
Oh, they essentially crowd around some of the larger plants at the base of this hilltop and start plucking away at the large, juicy leaves.
Wants to pet one. She's just going to like wide-eyed and like just super excitedly, very slowly try to walk forward and see if she can pet one. Maybe offer it a branch of the grass.
Are you being stealthy about it?
Probably more animal handily.
Yeah, just sort of gently approaching. Yeah, an animal handling check, please.
Not great at these.
No, you're not. So as you push forward, they aren't happy that you're coming closer, but they aren't going to suddenly rush and start smashing. They, in a similar way as the last time you approached them, they seem to crowd around each other, getting a little bit defensive.
Skuttz will back up a little bit more and just kind of sit down. Oh, they're up here. Okay, I didn't see where they were.
They right, I'll be nice. Dynamic lighting.
Oh God. Yeah, when they get defensive, she'll just. I guess she probably would have come down that way, so she'll retreat back up towards stuff. And she's just going to watch them, I guess. She's curious. They've got something to do with that damn magic.
They definitely relax as you back away and return to munching away at the base of these shrubs.
Like, so gay, we're here to talk to them. He had a way.
So at this point, I'll say your rest has completed. You can have all your hit points back. You have all of your abilities back, and if you want to change around any epithets, you can change them.
Roll for the skull asset.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Well, you awake to the munching and crunching of several huge ankylosaurs. Skuttz, I imagine you're just sat watching them chew away.
Yes, she's completely mesmerized.
What is everyone else doing? Yeah, sit and keep an eye on them. Make sure they don't do anything untoward. There. Zholk, are you doing anything in particular?
I don't think so at the moment.
Okay. Nadryn, give me an Arcana check, please.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what are you doing as you come to in the morning? Clearly not a morning
Apparently.
person.
Apparently, I am bad in the morning.
Grumpy, wiping the drool off of Neil on yourself.
Probably just stumble out of the hut. I'm now underneath Neil. Oops. And like go around to the side of the hut, just see what Skuttz is doing.
She's looking. She's trying to figure out. There's clearly something going on with the magic here. Use another charge of magical awareness, but I'm gonna guess it would be the same thing where it's just glowing on their mouths from eating the plants.
Up to you if you want to use it.
So, I don't know. Well, we just had a long rest, so I guess I have all my charges back.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yes. So Skuttz will just stare at them slightly more intensely as she uses a charge of magical awareness.
What's the range of magical awareness?
$60 feet.
60 feet. Okay. So, yes, you see what you expected of the plants are glowing, the mouths and stomachs of these ankylosaurs are glowing, but it's kind of hard to see from the glare in the side of your vision coming from the inside of the hut.
Oh. Guts is gonna kind of just tap Nadryn as she wanders into the hut to go check out what's glowing. Then kick Mr. Burbles out.
You see the once only lightly glowing stone is now very brightly lit, just sort of, while attuned to magic, it's almost blinding to look at.
Oh, that's really bright. She stumbles back out and kind of rubs her eyes. You guys, I think there's something happening. She's going to pick up a piece of grass and eat it, though, right now. Like, she's got to find out.
Okay, is it?
It's
are you just going for the
glowing.
grass,
What
or are
happens
you
if you eat
going
it?
for one of the shrubs?
One of the shrubs that was glowing.
Okay. Give me a Constitution saving throw, please. You are just
find
eating
out why
grass,
they like to eat
so.
this.
Give me an Arcana or a Survival check, please.
Definitely go with survival check on that one.
So you bite into this leaf, and it is bitter. Definitely not the most pleasant thing to eat in any way, shape, or form. But you can tell just from the way it tastes, from the way it makes your mouth and tongue tingle, that this thing definitely has very strong magical properties as an ingredient.
She
But
makes
just
a face
eating
like
it
she just
raw
licked
is
a
not going to
battery.
do much, but mixed in with something, it could make a already strong potion very potent. And it also makes your tongue blow.
Ugh. She just kind of makes a face. This is definitely magic, all right. She kind of just holds out some to Nadryn.
You just ate this leaf?
I wouldn't recommend it, but it tasted like magic.
It tasted like magic.
It's hard to describe. You want a bite?
Can I have a look at the leaf? Do I
Sure.
trust this leaf? Do I just eat it?
You wouldn't really want to. It is literally just a raw leaf. It's just a leaf in that sense. In the same way, she wouldn't go up to a typical tree and just start munching on leaves. But being a sorcerer, you can definitely, just by putting your hand near these leaves, you can feel the magic that is sort of contained within them.
Right, okay. So, yeah, there is definitely magic in this. I wouldn't want to eat it myself, but I mean, you've already eaten some. Have you considered maybe cooking it?
You're so smart, Nadryn. That's brilliant. And she's gonna get her cauldron out and start heating up some water.
I don't know if I've made this worse or not, but I guess we'll find out.
She'll use the cauldron's feature to summon some water into it, and as
Yeah.
it starts to boil, she'll drop in a few of the shrub brushes.
So you're trying to make a tea with it or something like that?
Yeah. We'll put like a pinch of some cinnamon in there from my flavor pouch.
You have got the flavor pouch. Direct portal to Flavor Town. While Skuttz is making her morning coffee, what's everyone else doing?
I am very interested in how this is gonna go, so I will supervise.
That's the one.
All I'm hearing is an invitation to eat more grass.
You're welcome to eat some grass if you want to, Zholk. I'm not stopping you.
The question is which grass?
Bennett, are you just keeping watch on the giant dinosaurs within hitting distance?
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
It turns out that
Have you
Bennett's
got grass as well?
turns out Bennett's cloak works the same as Skutz's shirt, of that it's just a portal to an infinite amount of objects. There's that too.
While everyone's
super
eating grass,
cash.
I'll
Yeah.
hold the rest.
Okay, Skuttz, give me a survival check.
Okay.
Let's see how good your brew is. So you simmer away these magical leaves, and it does smoke pretty heavily, or at least sort of steam very heavily. These vapors coming off making your head a bit dizzy just being near them. But you waft them away, and you are left with this. It looks that same cyan blue that you see coming off of the stone that you saw in the rain, that you see on the mouths and stomachs of those ankylosaurs. But to everyone else, they actually see the blue. The first time they're actually able to see that same colour.
Son, she just like tries to. She doesn't want to scare the inkling. She's so excited. It's blue. She's just kind of lost in the glow of it. It reminds me of late at night at Granny's, and I would go sit out under the stars and I would look up, and I always wondered where these lights went, and it's the same blue. It has to be. She's just like wondering how it's on the earth and in the sky at the same time.
Well, the
Magic
lights
is so cool.
The lights you usually saw at Granny's were more of a reddish colour, whereas these are much similar to, say, the lights you've seen on this island. As well as, but they still in the sky and on the ground in this island. But the ones specifically from when you were growing up with Granny, they were more shades of red.
This time it's blue. We got this far. She's gonna take a scoop and drink some.
Okay. You drink away. Give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Hopefully it tastes better this time.
You drink it, and it tastes incredible. Almost like it's a sort of fruity, sweet taste, but with the added cinnamon that you've put in, really sort of livens up those flavours to an incredible degree, to the point where you struggle to stop drinking it.
No, I made slurp.
You do now have an addiction to whatever you've just made.
This is really good, you guys.
Oh no.
You're not sure of what the effects are of it, though. You definitely feel energized. You feel sort of that little bit stronger. There's a closer connection to magic.
Hey,
Maybe
I
my
like
suggestion went badly.
Skuttz is just like running around all pepped up. She's just like, she stops randomly, does a couple of like push-ups, gets back, like she's just like darting around the camp.
I mean, you guys can try and identify or investigate this particular brew to see if it does have magical properties.
Yeah, I'd like to have a look at it, see what I have encouraged the creation of.
That would be another Arcana check, please. Can't be worse than the first one.
Oh, shit.
See? Told you. You have a look at this strange concoction. Being careful not to drink any, but definitely trying to stop Skuttz from drinking all of it. Zholk, are you actually drinking some?
Yes.
Okay, give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
I didn't want to interrupt, but I also wanted to before I knew what it did.
That's fair. I appreciate that. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
I'm gonna get addicted to it again.
There it is. I'm good.
No, you are good. You drink it, and while you can taste the same sweetness that Skuttz suggested. It's definitely not as compelling as she made it out to be on first sale. Nadryn, you realise that this is distilled magic. It is quite literally magic tea. You've heard of this as this sort of rare, for want of a better term, potion that only like the most wealthiest people in Theros would ever be able to get a hold of, as Nectar of Nyx. And basically, when you've drank it, the next spell you cast that is 4th level or lower, within a minute after drinking it, you use the maximum dice roll rather than rolling dice. It is very potent, very addictive, and very valuable. You have no idea how it is made or where it usually comes from. So the fact that Skuttz just managed to throw some shit together and make some is kind of phenomenal. Yeah, leave it with that. If you look under items, consumables, and intoxicants, there is a handout there called Nectar of Nyx, which is what this is.
That bit. How then?
Like that. Hopefully that pops up for everyone, but I'm not entirely sure. There we go. Okay.
That's a very high DC.
That is a very high DC.
And I passed it.
You did pass it, just. But it's also a very potent effect.
So I have a minute to make full use of this, is what I'm seeing. What does this do?
Well, this is certainly an interesting thing you have created here. Probably best to not drink much of it.
Oh yeah, it's so good. I should definitely save some of it for later. As she's gonna like, I don't think I have any bottles or any. I don't think I can bottle it. Do I have anything? She's gonna go chase down Zholk. Do you have any vials, Mister
You'd be
Container
amazed.
Haver?
Yes. I have an empty wine bottle.
Yes. Can I borrow it?
You sure?
Skuttz is going to very carefully pour the liquid from the cauldron into the bottle from Zholk.
Alright, I need to consult what Beast Broth does again.
Why do you have an empty wine bottle?
I don't remember.
That is a question that is plaguing me as well.
I think I actually also have empty wine bottles and some sour wine. It's from the room we couldn't figure out the thing with the pen.
Yeah, okay.
Beast Broth.
Yeah. You're no longer addicted to beast broth as well, Zholk. You don't need to...
Yeah, but I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm going to drink the Beast Broth so we have a second bottle.
Oh, I have 5 rancid
fair.
sour
I didn't
wines.
realise
I
you
can
had a
just dump
second
some
one.
of that.
I still have them on me just in case.
Reasonable. That is reasonable. Okay, give me a Constitution saving throw, please. Fantastic. Guess who's addicted to beast broth again? Look who fell off the wagon.
It means I can fill it with the other thing.
You can also now cast Dominate Beast for an hour if there's a beast nearby that you would like to completely mind control.
My God.
Did the Triceratops things count?
The Ankylosaurs are beasts.
Oh god. Okay,
They
then I
would
need to go read.
a saving
Oh,
throw
no.
against it, but it's
Dominate beast. Let's have a look.
basically if it fails its wisdom saving throw, it is charmed by you. You have a telepathic link to it where you can just give it actions to do, and you have total and precise control over it while it is charmed by you.
It only lasts a minute.
It lasts an hour thanks to the beast broth.
Oh. Do we want an Ankylosaur for an hour?
Yes.
Alright, fair enough.
Are you going to attempt to dominate one of the Ankylosaurs?
Yes, but no. There is a step that needs to happen first. Skuttz, throw me at one of them.
Okay.
I need to give them disadvantage on the save.
You understand the consequence of me throwing you.
This is fine. I am the meat.
Okay.
Oh no.
Kills the first one. I've got a second.
Okay. Well,
It's not the Ankylosaur I think she's worried about.
Yeah.
Heroic Destiny's back up. It's fine.
Anything I throw, I do damage. So you'll take bludgeoning damage. And so will the Ankylosaur.
You don't have to hit the Ankylosaur, just throw him near it.
We can throw you next to it, but yeah.
I hit it.
Which would mean that Zholk would take the entirety of the fall damage.
Oh my god.
For what
I
it's
can
worth.
throw you, but how are we doing this?
Well, throw me like a javelin and I'll hold the bell out.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh, all right.
You can't just sneak.
Okay, so he just holds like a real nice like pose, you know, with his axe out front. I just try to like throw him like a dart, like aerodynamic, just and just chuck him right at the Ankylosaur.
Make an improvised weapon attack at disadvantage because you know Zholk.
Drops him.
This is fine.
He just falls
This
flat on
is
his
not going to be
face.
fine.
Uh,
Also, which Ankylosaur? Are you targeting the Ankylosaur or are you targeting near them?
Zolk, you said you wanted to bonk it with your bell, right?
Yeah.
So we're targeting it.
Okay.
This is not going to go well, by the way. This is not going to go well. I can just...
Which Ankylosaur are you throwing him at?
This one on the end.
That one on the end.
I'm
Okay.
covering my face with my...
Make an attack roll, an improvised weapon thrown action at disadvantage.
I'm sorry.
Okie dokie.
Wow.
Okay, let's do that plus that. We'll do Blood Bowl rules. Go 1,
Oh my god.
3.
I'm going somewhere.
There we go. Fantastic, so you end up over there. And then let's see how far that was. 5. So it'll be dice roller. There it is. So you would take 23 points of bludgeoning damage as you slam completely wide off of the mark of the Ankylosaur into the side of this sort of crag top.
23, was it?
23 points of bludgeoning damage, yes.
That's just cheers. Woo! You go, buddy!
I rolled 20, really didn't want that to happen.
Wow, yeah.
Even if that was an advantage, you'd still have fucked it up.
How aware are the outcasts?
That was not stealthy. They have definitely turned to face being a lot more on edge than they were before. But considering you didn't hit them directly, they didn't really see it that much as a threat. More of just, okay, something scary's going on, we need to be careful.
Alright. I'm gonna just roll forward a little bit
Okay.
and then do the Dominate Beast.
Okay. Well, it was a good thing you gave it disadvantage.
my God.
As the
I've
nearest
acquired a
dinosaur
dinosaur.
is charmed by you for the next hour.
And now what?
Good answer.
Said it.
Oh no.
Alright. Now that I've acquired it, I'm gonna take my rightful seat on its back.
I have a suggestion if you want a DM suggestion.
Sure.
What do you usually do with animals and creatures in general that you have control over? Where do they usually end up?
6 feet under? In our experience?
No, not quite. Those are usually ones that you're in the middle of like trying to murder, and even then, they more often end up with Granny than they end up dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could just hang out with them for a little bit, and you'd be like, "Hey, you know what? You
Yeah,
just
we're
want
at
to go in here?"
59 minutes. Just jump into the back. You know,
Oh.
it's dominated. It cannot disobey you. Even if you give it a suicidal order, it cannot disobey you.
Right. The last time we got something close to this, it got attached to a whelk. But that was a statue.
That's right.
That's my only experience in something like this.
And that was another thing that you went in with no idea what you were doing other than, let's do this thing!
Do you remember at the start of today's session where I said I had these plans and then something else happened?
It's not always me.
It's always you.
I'm more just... Yeah, this was not what I was expecting the Ankylosaurus to do, but sure, why not? So, you've got a pet for an hour. What would you like to do with it?
I'm going to tell it to take me to the source of its good food.
It stays where it is.
Alright, fair enough. I'll join it in eating.
Okay.
Well, if it knows what it's doing, then clearly this is going to be good.
Okay. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Sweet.
You start chowing down on the ferns, and they are bitter and literally just plants. But you manage to stomach them somehow. You don't get any magical effect from it. It's just you're eating raw plants. Well done.
Great. I didn't think this far ahead.
Why is everyone in this party so gung-ho about consuming everything?
If in doubt, eat it.
Yeah.
Bennett's defense, I don't think it's actually.
technically you get all your calories from beer, though, because you have drank beer.
You've drank quite a lot of beer.
That's all Bennett's rations actually are.
Yeah, they're just more and more just tankards of ale. Barrels. I couldn't think how they would store ale in ancient Greece.
And how he's carrying it around.
They're just part of his tattoos. So, while Zholk is in control of an ankylosaur and almost being controlled by the ankylosaur as he eats grass, what's everyone else doing?
Skuttz is gonna come over and hold open her shirt and ask Zholk if he can get the Ankylosaurus to drop the plants into the granny bag, like a dinosaur excavator.
Well,
Gonna be faster than chopping at it with an axe.
I'll just say to the Ankylosaur, you heard the Unibor excavation.
I mean, it can only understand you because you have a telepathic link to it, so you'd have to give it the instructions.
All right. Excavation of all plants.
Okay. Immediately starts using its beaked mouth to chew away at the stems of a lot of these glowing blue plants, including butting out of the way some of the other ankylosaurs to get at more of the plants, which they don't particularly happy with, but just move on to the next nearest shrub to start eating. They don't seem to care too much about the glowy ones as opposed to just the tasty ones. Skuttz, put in that you have. Let's have a look. Let's roll some dice for this. Let's be nice. Do 7 portions of magic blue plants.
Okay.
Are you putting all 7 into the bag?
We'll send 4 to Granny and Skuttz will keep 3.
Okay. So, in magic blue plant, and put. Did you say 3 of them?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put
Or
3 of them in the
I'll
bag.
send 4 to Granny and I'm gonna keep 3.
4 to Granny. Okay.
So my brain did a thing.
Here we go. We'll see what happens when a player's brain does stuff.
So I'm going to attempt to pick the brain of the Ankylosaur in that I can speak telepathically to it with the earworm. Can it respond?
No, it cannot. It just understands your orders telepathically and does its best to obey.
Right. Okay. Do the party feel like a treasure hunt?
You know I can talk to animals, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but this is more interesting.
Like, Sogeg's not the only one that can do that. I just like watching Sogeg do it.
Well, picking information from last session's agenda, I want to ask the Ankylosaur if it can take me to a cave it knows about and see if it's the cave I need.
So
Or is the
you compel it to go towards the nearest cave. but it doesn't move. It seems confused by the order.
Well, since that. Okay. I'm out of ideas. What are we doing with the dinosaur?
You're the one that charmed the dinosaur.
You've got about I'd say about 20 minutes left with it.
If we've only got 20 minutes, I'm just going to compel it to go sit on the campfire so we've got dinner later.
Are we not sending it to Granny?
Oh, yeah. Were we doing that?
Pretty sure we were.
I know we sent plants. Yeah, just tell it climb in. It's
Yeah.
the first time we'll send something fun.
Obey you just saying go inside the bag, it will do so. Is that what you would like to do?
I think that's the most use we're going to get out of this, so yeah.
That's a good use of beast broth. Here's hoping you can find more of it, considering you're now addicted to it from that. I hope it was worth it.
Yeah, so with the second time.
Skuttz is gonna write a note on it
Okay, yeah, are we adding a note to it?
to Granny. Yeah. Dear Granny, this island's really cool. I hope you enjoy the plants. This is my new BFF, love Skuttz.
Okay.
She's gonna really be happy about that sweet, sweet magic leaf.
Okay, right, added that to the bag.
Just won't tell her that the other half is in Skutz's pocket so she can brew some
I'm sure
horn.
she'll never find out. Definitely doesn't have people and creatures watching you at all times.
What cave are you looking for, Zholk?
The powers that be said that there might be more rock.
Skuttz is gonna hold out her compass and see if it's still pointing at the rock in the hut.
Yes, it is.
Well, if we know how to get back to the shore from the rock, my compass points to the rock. Let's explore. Mr. Burbles, come on. Bennett, let's find some new friends.
Bennett, give me a perception check. You were just watching the chaos, smoking away on your pipe, just like, these are the people that I have chosen as my friends group.
So perceptive, in fact, that
Indeed.
I've just looked up from a pipe. Where's it gone?
Skuttz offers him a piece of the plant that she brewed. Here, Bennett, you should smoke this.
I would
Maybe
advise against that.
Skuttz nods and puts it back.
I have to stay on alert.
Almost in response, you hear this sort of shrill, shrieking cry. coming from above you.
You guys hear that? Skuttz looks that direction.
Okay, let me just. Five pterodons of some kind, flying reptiles, sort of circling overhead, quite close. Somehow successfully sneaking up on you while all of that lot was happening.
What is it that's overhead us now?
Let me see if I can grab a handout for them, or at least. One of these things. Oh, 5 of these things. Sounds they're dooting about. A pterodactyl, or 5 pterodactyls, at least species of them.
Can we tell if they're looking like they're gonna start attacking us?
Make either an animal handling or a perception check.
Both are 0. Let's go.
You look up and you can see on them are straps, all trinkets, and the telltale signs of something that has been tamed and has been saddled.
Hey.
Although with the way they are flying overhead, you can't see what is riding them. They do continue circling overhead, the strange pterodons cawing and screeching as they peer down from above.
Are they saying anything?
From what you can understand, it's more of a threat display. So not exactly they're about to start swooping and pecking, but more of a show of strength than anything. You also get the feeling that they're looking for somewhere to land.
You guys. Think we know whose hut this is? She's gonna just step towards Mr. Burbles as she looks up.
Well, is there anything anyone wants to do at these overhead entities, these 5 seemingly tamed and ridden pterodactyls?
Guts is gonna grab something and have it handy. Not necessarily holding it in a threatening way, but she wants to have something.
Okay, the first one is a live creature.
I feel terrified too, just slightly. And so I will feel a kinship with this rooster, and she's just gonna hold on to the rooster.
All right, let me go grab an August rooster for you.
My emotional support chicken.
There you go.
Can I just ready on lightning bolt?
Okay. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please, Skuttz.
Fuck's sake. Oops.
Okay. You are immediately charmed by the rooster as you hold it in your hand, almost feeling like this rooster is better than you in every single way, that you need to tend to its needs more than your own, pay it devotion, bring it food and gifts, and just give it the most relaxed and comfortable life you possibly could.
Start giving it a little shoulder massage.
Although it is very clearly panicked and sort of screeching in your hands, you also just care deeply for this strange, quite large rooster. It's definitely bigger than Zholk.
What, the chicken?
Yes.
Ooh.
Crikey.
It is size medium, which is person sized.
I can mount the chicken.
Theoretically, yes, you could ride this chicken into battle. In theory.
Damn it, Zolt's got his own chocolate.
I mean, it's not Zolk's at the moment, it's currently Skutt's, but...
If it's a Zolk, got his own.
No way. This is the best chicken ever. Are you kidding me? This chicken's better than Zolk.
Oh no!
She just pets it slightly too aggressively.
You get some side eye for that.
This chicken's better than Zolk. This chicken's better than Mr. Burble. She just starts muttering to herself, telling the chicken how beautiful it is.
Mr. Burbles looks hurt.
He's fucking pissed.
As you tend to this deity chicken's needs, one of the swooping pack sort of lands with a thud quite dramatically in front of you. As off steps a strange fellow. Another Uniball.
I'm sure Skuttz would be completely enthralled in this moment if she weren't focused on this chicken screaming in her hands.
Who would have thought you pulled out the one charming chicken? As it dismounts, it sort of speaks to you in what you can recognise as the Uniball language, although a different dialect to what the exile over in Oreskos was saying. You still can't understand a word of what they say.
She just kind of looks up at him and shakes her head and shrugs, and then goes back to tending to the chicken, flailing in her hands.
He repeats himself, still in Unibor, more distinctly this time. Quite perturbed by whatever is currently happening.
I don't understand. She'll repeat the same phrase in Primordial just in case it's the only other language she knows.
He glances around at the other various creatures of your party. And what is the meaning of this? Why are you here? Mountains, not welcome. This is our islands.
Mountains?
You, mountains. You have your own path. This is ours. And yet you bring outsiders, static folk, and refuse to speak our language. What is the meaning of this?
You're oh my god. She's annoyed because she's trying to tend to her chicken, I guess. You're only the second Unibor I've ever met. I don't how am I supposed to understand? Granny raised me my whole life. These are my best friends. But this chicken is the best. She makes a little kissy face and like
as the rooster still continues to scream terrified in your embrace.
Damn it, Skuttz! Big emotional moment. Let's add a screaming chicken. All right. What do you mean mountains? Granny's in the mountains. You're from the mountains too, huh? You little chicky wicky. She just like continues to make the big eyes and like the kissy face at it. Oh my god. Bennett, please kill the chicken!
Save me! Okay. The Unibor, in just abject confusion, sort of turns up to its fellow riders in the sky and says something in Unibor, to which they stop their circling and fly off in a, well, I think from here probably be easterly direction. Disappear, or at least fly away. The one that landed and they try and speak to you remains. You seem confused more than I. Will you accept tradition, accept help? He seems to be struggling with words, almost like he's not used to speaking common.
What help do you mean? The only help I need is tending to Mr. Nugget here.
Yes, your Lord and Savior that you would name after eating the thing. But then again, Skuttz holds food in the highest regard, so it would be a compliment.
I'd say it fits in with Skutz's naming theme.
Mr.
Oh
Nuggies.
God. Okay. Um,
So is everyone else just sat watching whatever is happening? Or is anyone else wanting to do anything?
I'm gonna get Neil to like come close to me and just like be a bit protective over him and tentatively walk around just to observe a bit closer, but trying to not draw attention to myself or Neil.
I'm more than prepared to lightning bolt something if I have
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
to.
lightning bolt the chicken.
I was going to say, Bennett, are you
Please.
actually shooting the chicken?
Yeah, I meant.
Okay.
Oh, sweet.
As from on high, a bolt or a short arrow sort of hits the side of this screeching chicken, causing it to shriek so much louder, as it is still alive. It's a pretty tanky chicken. It's just now still very much within Skutz's grasp, just screaming in horror.
Why is it tanky?
Because it's one of Granny's creatures.
Oh, it makes
Okay.
everything worse.
Would you like some more DM help? Of
Yeah.
maybe the safest place for one of Granny's beautiful protective
Yeah.
chickens is back with Granny.
Bennett, how dare you ruffle McNuggets or Nuggets feathers? Oh, she's just like indignant and she just like shoves them back in the shirt.
Okay.
Oh my God.
You are charmed by the rooster for the next 24 hours. In your mind for the rest of this day, that Mr. Nuggies is just the most divine rooster you've ever seen.
I just imagine that like grannies being the ultimate grandma, like they're just like montage, like skipping through the forest. They're collecting skulls. They're making like junk stew in the cauldron, freaky cookies, all that. That's what's playing through her head for the next 24 hours. She tries to focus back in the moment without him to fawn over in her arms now.
Okay. And back to reality.
All right.
Okay.
My super important chicken. So what do you mean this is islands and mountains? She looks at him.
I have sent the voyagers to go to our elders and see if they can understand this nonsense. You are so far from your path and with civilized folk. It is not normal. Something happened, the elders will know what to do. But until then, you need to leave our island. We will find you when the elders make their decisions. But for now, you seem too dangerous. You break traditions that should not be broken.
I don't know any traditions. I don't know my home. I'm lost. Granny found me. Granny's not a univore. She shakes her head and she just looks at him.
I am unable to understand. You are of the mountains. I am of the islands. We are unibor but different. As you see, you are tall and what is the word in common? Fluff. Whereas I am more adapted for islands, the water. We are wanderers but different. Which means you are not suited to be here. Your presence throws off the magic, throws off the winds. We were drawn as a warning that not only was the Waystone in danger, but the guardian of this island was killed. My friend. He does look quite moved, quite sad, as he sort of actually has to say out loud that the guardian of the island had been killed.
Skuttz looks really... She tries to hide the guilt on her face. Damn it, Zholk. Oh, that's so sad. We will definitely leave and be on our way. She's gonna shoo Mr. Burbles back, and she's gonna come up here with everybody else, or flag Nadryn down. You guys, we gotta go. We can't let Zholk keep killing stuff here. Don't tell him that. And she's gonna kind of try to wave Zholk over. Gotta find a way to leave.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a problem with that. Our captain is dead. And the boat turned into gas and then blew up.
The island Juniper remounts his flying mount and calls out, "You may feel lost, but the paths are still ahead. I can guide you to your next step."
Do you know where Olantin is? Skuttz gets really excited.
He seems confused, as if he's never heard the word before.
We're looking for an ocean city. Or a boat? Skuttz has an idea.
I do not know what you want, but the winds are blowing in your direction, and I will guide you to them. As he takes off into the air and starts flying towards where the boat used to be.
This way, guys. I think I have a way for us to get off the island. Maybe.
Is everyone following, or is there anything else you'd like to do with the magic stone, the plants, the ankylosaurs, and so on?
We've got a rope.
Do you have a rope?
I know I don't.
Pretty sure my rope's being used already.
I specifically remember refreshing rope before we left the port.
Can we tie the rock to my Doom player?
Oh,
I don't think he's gonna like you doing that.
Oh, is it his rock?
He just said it was the Waystone.
Right.
Yeah, the reason the Unibor are here is that something let them know the Waystone was in danger and the guardian of this place had been killed. I'll let you guys decide on what that guardian was.
Wasn't the big dinosaur? Totally.
It was the Spinosaur. Yes, it was this guy's pet.
it's so gay. So gay. Why? Alright.
Even when he's not here, he's still causing problems.
Oh god.
Yeah, but imagine how this conversation would have changed if Zholk was here.
Alright. I won't blatantly attempt to steal in front of the man then.
That is a reasonable decision,
We'll come back.
I'm sure. I'll move you back to the scene of scattered harpy bodies, scorch marks, frozen, what'll be more of melted patches of where the cone of coal had frozen through a lot of the trees and bodies of the harpies, and just a scene of carnage. But not an isolated scene of carnage, as you see 6 creatures, 4, well, Nadryn, you would be able to immediately identify the creatures that are 4 Meros, a Shahugan, and a Triton, all sort of searching through the bodies, just sort of looking around, very clearly investigating.
Okay. I will step forward. Did Thassa send you here?
Is that your opening? Just did Thassa send you here?
Yeah.
Okay. Unaware of your approach, as they were focused in their investigations, they all sort of snap up to look at you before the Triton faces just lights up and runs towards you, arms open. By the waves! Nadryn, is that you? I hadn't seen you since
Yes.
we were in training together. It's Jimis. How have you been? I thought you'd been sent on one of Thassa's quests. I thought you were, searching for some stolen treasures.
I will happily hug them back. Yes. She sent me out to find these treasures and series of odd events happened, and I ended up here.
There must have been some mighty odd adventures if you'd ended up with these dry folk. But it must be a blessing of Thassa that you've made it back. We were investigating. We got tipped off from a hippocamp that something was going wrong here. Something needed help. And when we arrived, there was all this carnage everywhere. We were trying to work out what had happened.
So I see you found the hippocamp we helped.
It did mention being helped by a Triton. That's why we rushed with all haste. But to think that it was you? Oh, well, bless my waves.
Yeah, it was surrounded by sharks. We got them away from it and
Wait, sharks?
it swam off.
You reckon they
Yeah.
attacked it?
It seemed to be the case.
That,
It was injured, bleeding. There were sharks all around.
that seems worrying. Sharks aren't the type to go after Thassa's animals like that. Something must have really riled them up.
Yeah, there was a... Skuttz, what was the thing we said to Granny? The one with
Big angry whale?
the shark. The one with the big...
Oh, the stabby shark. Yeah.
The gnaw shark.
The gnaw shark, that's what it's called. There was a gnaw shark there.
A rare find. I didn't think gnaw sharks were still around these parts.
There was.
You reckon that was riling up the others?
Could have
They're a
been.
strange type of animal. Hard to predict, but they're no dolphins or whales. They're at least okay. They breathe water and
We did encounter a whale and some pink dolphins.
blink dolphins. Oof. Scary creatures. You're lucky you survived them. Little tricksters as they are. That must have been your
we took
training
them
paying
down.
off.
Yes. Yes, my training. And then we were on a boat for a while. And we ended up here, and our captain got killed in this. I
Wait.
sent him back out.
Who was this captain you're speaking of? I know you were sent after some treasures that were stolen.
We never got the captain's name, just known as the captain. But
Clearly he was hiding
one of
something.
us. He was one of us. He was the one that took the treasures in the first place.
Jimmy's face sours. You mean you helped willingly in exile?
We didn't know who he was for quite a while. And he got us out of a bad place in the city. Olantin.
You went to
And-
Olantin? Are you mad?
Yes.
I love the honesty there. Yes, I am mad.
We still went there, and he got us out of the city after it was attacked by Nylia. And then I found out who he was, but it's not like we could leave his boat.
I mean, you could have left these dry folk and returned home.
These are my friends. I couldn't leave them on their own.
Seems shocked by the word friends. being on the surface must have changed you. You must have some mighty good stories. But,
A lot of things have happened.
and I assume your little quest is completed if you're back out in the ocean.
I did find the treasures that she wanted me to find.
Well, let me be the first to welcome you home. But you're seeming a little short supplied. Yeah, in need of a lift?
Yeah, our boat was kind of stolen, then turned into gas, and then it exploded.
He just stares at you, dumbfounded, not entirely sure if you're being serious or not.
No, yeah, that happened.
Well, I guess that's what surface folks are like, I think. Well, I don't even know how to respond. I think you may have been out of the water a little too long.
Maybe.
He turns to two of the marrow. Say, Dan, go fetch the cavalry. We're gonna need some extra space. As they dive back into the ocean to go and, well, try and find you some transport. Well, don't make me sit here like some strange screamer. Introduce me to these dry friends of yours.
Well, first of all, and I'm gonna turn around to Neil. This is Neil. And he's just gonna drool on the floor. Just blankly stare up at him and drool on the floor.
Waves. Bless my starfish. You found an eelhead?
Yeah.
Those are some mighty rare creatures. Rarer still that they'd be willing to follow anyone.
It followed me for 2 days and nearly died because of it.
How all of us, born of the water, are blessed by Thassa, but that is on another level.
And for the rest of us, this is Bennett. That's about right for Bennett. This is Skuttz.
She'll wave sheepishly.
That's Mr. Burbles.
He starts to fart, and then Skuttz will like shove him further back into the woods.
2 seconds later, you just hear an explosion.
And this is Zholk.
You just get a small wave.
Not the most vocal creatures, are they? Well, I guess that's what civilization on the surface does to people. No connections, no bonds.
They've not met many of our kind and are not particularly accustomed to anyone other than me of our people, really.
I mean, there's no reason to be shy. Maybe they just lack the deep hospitality that we have. Not a problem. I'm sure they will be acceptable in Olantin. Have they got ways of dealing with the special requirements dry folk have in our lovely home?
I'm just gonna turn around to them and cast air bubble on the ones that need it.
Still wearing his flippers.
I forgot you had the flippers.
Actually, Skuttz wanted to try something
Okay.
instead of to see if we could help with the air bubble casting, so you're not always using a spell slot. Can Skuttz take some of her magical paints there and try to supercharge them with some of the Nyx potion? Or one of the fish scales that we got from the alpha fish?
Okay. What are you intending to do?
If I charged up the magical paints, could I use it to paint actual gills on us? So that we could just breathe underwater.
It would require a scale for each creature you're painting gills on.
We don't have to, I just thought it was an interesting idea.
But it
Skuttz
would
wants
work.
gills
is
if
that
nobody
not-
else
yeah.
does.
So, who at the moment can't breathe underwater? It's Mr. Burbles.
Skuttz, Pogeg, and I don't think Bennett can?
Oh, Bennett
Or-
has a necklace of
something like that.
adaptation.
That's okay, that's right. Okay, so it's just Pogeg, Mr. Burbles, and Skuttz.
Okay. I will just cast the air bubble. We can maybe look more into the painting of the gills when we can get more scales.
Sure, I was gonna say where we can, if like
You
it
do have
supercharges it and we
a
can do
good-
crazy shit, we can
yeah.
save it for more stuff.
You do
Yeah.
have a good few scales, but they are from the alpha fish. You'd have to track down more alpha fish and get as good a roll of filleting them as Bennett did, because I think he got a crit on that particular one. I mean, it was good enough to get him a epithet, so.
I will cast air bubble
Awesome.
on the people that need it.
You're so benevolent to them, Nadryn. You must have really fallen for these dry folks' ways. Well, traveling the surface.
Been together for quite a while now.
Well, you wouldn't be from Olantin if you didn't have that heart. It may be a while before Seg and Diane come back with our lift, so feel free to settle in, maybe share a few stories, and prepare yourselves to come home.
Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone else?
Where are my manners? I am Jimis, one of our lantern folk, the underwater folk, the types you know Nadryn as. I've been tasked by Thassa to investigate here and there with my good friends. It's interesting to meet dry folk so open to other peoples. As he says that, he shoots a very dirty look at the Uniball still sort of flying overhead. So, what would anyone like to do while you are waiting for your transport to arrive?
Although you can't see it through his sunglasses.
Definitely see him try and avoid that direct eye contact, but every time he sort of turns back, you can see that it's not sitting well with him, but he also doesn't want to directly offend you. Zholk, are you doing anything other than just hiding at the back?
I suppose preparing the nightmare vehicle with water breathing.
That is fair. Skuttz, are you doing anything?
I want to take out my Unibor scroll and try to show it to the... Or is he in the air right now?
He's currently circling overhead, but I'm sure you could wave him down.
Okay. She'll wave him down and wonder if he's ever seen it.
And dismount. He'll take the scroll and have a look through it. You say you're not familiar with us. Don't know? Didn't grow with us. Where did you get this?
Found it in a market. I traded for it. Didn't I give her my... Yeah, I gave her my rock that rolls towards water.
He turns so that it's essentially facing the same direction as you, sort of standing by your shoulder to sort of be side to side as he sort of points through the scroll. This is a children's story, Carfling's story. Say to kids moral lessons while growing up.
Oh, what's this one about?
This is the stories of the 5 winds, of the 5 tribes of Unibor, and the differences between how we began our journeys and the importance of them.
Oh, she looks wide-eyed as she's looking through the images on the scroll.
He starts pointing out a few of the words and pronouncing them, trying to help you begin to learn to identify certain words and part of the language of the Univore.
She nods and tries her best.
Give me a history check, please.
For the love of God.
Let's
Scott.
see how good your best is.
No! Brain.
It's a lot to take in. Not only does the language feel sort of very unusual to say, it's similar enough to Primordial that you can get the pronunciations right, but the actual syntax is completely different, so it keeps throwing you off. And you keep getting just completely distracted by the fact that it's another Unibor that is talking to you. And the novelty is just incredible.
Now that I don't have McNugget in my lap, this seems so much cooler.
But you are still thinking about it.
Chicken Nugget, he's having a grand time at Granny's. I just know it. I wish he was here right now. That's why she can't study Unibor. She's just so busy thinking about Mr. Nuggy. Thank you so much. What other ones are there? So there's mountain, she points to herself, and there's island, and she points to you. Or points to the other Unibor, and then she points at the scroll excitedly. Like, there are more? She's just enamored.
He looks concerned, almost sort of like thinking something through. I am unsure of how much to say. The elders will know more of what to do. But it would hopefully be okay. As he turns back to the scroll and points to sort of these 5 symbols, although on closer look they're very stylized versions of Unibor. And points to one that is quite broad, much bigger than the other ones. It says, these are you, the mountain tribes. Points a bit further along to a much more lithe, probably the smallest of the Unibor, covered in a lot more markings, but a lot less distinct fur. This is me, the islands.
Mm-hmm. She's holding on to his every word.
Points to the next one along, which is almost a mix between the two, where it's another very tall but skinny, much more almost sporty, if that makes it sort of like very sort of streamlined. Long legs, long arms. These wanderer plains of the near city where you got this scroll.
Oh. We were so close to Unibor everywhere the whole time.
Gesture to the next one along, which is a much more squat, but almost a lot less horse-like, I guess, a lot less equine than the others. Much shorter horns, much thinner hooves. but much stronger arms. Trying to think of the best way to describe them. These are the forest tribes of the natures of seasons. The final drawing is a lot more distorted, almost like it's been purposely scribbled out. These the elders will explain.
Thank you so much.
Again, he tries to teach you the ways of saying the identifiers for each of the tribes, each of the winds. But again, the Unimore tongue is still a little bit outside of your wheelhouse at the moment.
I'm determined to get the hang of this. All right.
Bennett and Nadryn, give me a perception check.
That's perception. I'm blind.
Oh, Nadryn, you're a bit too lost in conversation with Jimis, explaining all of the divine qualities of Neil as the greatest companion in existence. And your Triton friend nodding and agreeing with every word. Bennett, you notice that the edge of the sea is glowing, this sort of bright yellow. And it's fascinating. It's something you don't particularly want to look away from. Oh yeah, this is, you see out the corner of your eyes, you're still dead-eyeing the Triton.
Idea what it is?
Uh,
Never seen it before, but
Make a nature check. You definitely don't know what it could be, but the light reminds you of essentially that same empty feeling of that brief moment you were in the underworld. While this has colour and the underworld was much more desaturated, it still feels like this sort of light, this sort of pale, sickly yellow as you stare through Jimis towards it. Has that same sort of ominous feel to it. And whatever is causing the light is approaching rapidly. Anyone want to make any guesses?
Skutt's close enough to hear.
Yes.
She'll look up. Can she tell what it is?
Again, it would be a nature check.
She squints out into the water.
Again, you can't make out what's approaching, but that light, it almost looks like the inside of the granny bag.
Whoa. Skuttz is gonna roll up the Unibor scroll and tuck it away in the bag of holding. And she'll stand up and walk over towards the rest of the group up here.
At the arrival of this light, the Unibor, who I didn't have an opportunity to introduce, but he would have introduced himself as Voyager Moss Tusk, hops aboard his pterodactyl and zooms off, definitely not wanting to deal with whatever's approaching.
What is it?
So,
She puts a...
as you point at the light, Jerris turns, claps his hands and holds them wide. Well, it seems like Queen Kiora has blessed us with the most luxury of transports. Breaching from the water, only slightly. This thing. Again, I will put the image into the...
Has to resist. Her eyes get really, really big. It's so glowy.
It's very glowy. Nadryn, you would know this as a Rorqual. While you're not entirely sure of its origins, these are essentially luxury, well, for want of a better term, transports for the people of Olantin, in the same way as eelhounds are very selective with who they will bond with. Rorquals are in that similar level of temperamental towards who it will take orders from. Probably one of very highly respected, but something that you definitely wouldn't have expected to be sent your way. A bit above your typical station. So, as the Rorqual approaches the shore from out of its translucent mouth, pop the two marrow that disappeared beforehand that assist Jimis and his entourage into its mouth. Who waves you along to come with.
Oh, seems like we are traveling in the highest luxury possible.
If only Mr. Nuggy were here. He deserves this more than any of us. Skuttz will walk towards it in awe of its glowing beauty.
You can always try and get Mr. Nuggy out again.
Step off Bennett stops Nadryn and just these people normally be so interested.
I asked Thassa for help. Couldn't help with what I asked for, so I guess she found another way of helping.
Bennett will follow, but he's
Does seem awfully convenient. So, are you all going to enter the giant beast's mouth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're following as its jaw closes around you. And there is breathable air inside it as you look through its translucent lower jaw just to see out into the great oceans of Theros as it turns and dives back into the ocean. It swims with some significant speed for such a huge creature. You would have think it would be a lot more sluggish, or at least if moving this quickly would be a lot more uncomfortable. But for those inside, it is weirdly comfortable. Like, you are aware you are inside the mouth of this great beast, and yet it feels like you are inside this great comfortable chamber. Like the inside almost feels soft and velvety. Places to sit, the sight just to look out through the mouth is jaw-dropping. That you can understand why these creatures are so coveted.
Love one of these. Skuttz just whispers to herself.
You might have a hard time fitting it in the bag. Not impossible, just a hard time.
She's behaving herself. We have to get to Olantin. Wow, Nadryn! You didn't tell me the ocean had such cool creatures.
I only met a handful of the creatures down here so far.
Yeah, but they all have fins and flippers and gills. Granny always has claws and wings and fluff and fur.
Wings and fluff and fur don't really help down here.
Sure they do. She doesn't understand. She has had no trouble swimming. Why would anybody else? The fluff just makes you streamlined. That's absolutely not how it works.
Oh,
It's a handicap so that she's fair to everyone else. So the Rockwell continues powering through the depths until in the distance you can make out these small structures seemingly made out of coral, or at least having coral growing from them. These great marble domes underneath the deep ocean. And we might as well go to there. Behind the screen, heads up, I am not 100% prepared. So we'll see how this goes. So, as the rockfall moves towards the largest of these buildings, it eventually comes to a halt, although doesn't open its mouth quite yet. As Jimmy's turns and says, Nadryn, welcome home. I assume you'd probably want to stop by the council and let them know your quest has been completed. But your dry friends might want to brace themselves.
Skuttz literally braces herself, like, physically. Thumbs up.
Then I would like Zholk, Bennett, and Skuttz to make Constitution saving throws. Skuttz, could you brace yourself? You're at advantage. As the rockwall begins to open its mouth and seawater floods in with incredible force. How far underneath the water are you? Pretty damn far, so this might sting a little bit. Bennett and Zholk, you take 30 points of cold damage. Skuttz, you would take half.
Good job we rest.
Oh, Mr. Burbles would have needed to roll as well.
Doing its thing again.
Sure hope we don't go into combat again. Heroic Destiny's gone.
Turns out being underwater is not the easiest to deal with for people that, aren't adapted to being underwater.
I warned you about that, but I kind of forgot.
I mean, your Triton friend Jimmy's literally said brace yourselves, and only Skuttz braced themselves. Mr. Burbles would take 15 cold damage.
Is Skuttz taking any?
15.
Okay.
As you are probably about 100 to 120 meters underwater. You are definitely deep enough that it is hard to see the surface. There's this twinkle of light coming down, but it is very, very dull. As the rockwall's mouth fills with water, and those that were not expecting to be flooded full of cold seawater have their bodies reject such, you eventually acclimatize and are free to swim out of the creature's mouth and head to wherever you wish to go. So I've put you on this map in particular as this is the biggest building that is here. Nadryn, you would know this as the Capitol building, essentially the palace. You could also swim to some of the smaller buildings nearby if you would want to go to. I'll be honest, the only other map I've got properly prepared is a marketplace.
So, what do you guys think we should do? Try and find somewhere to at least be able to find somewhere to sleep for the night when it's time. Find accommodations first. Yeah, I should have warned you about it, but I forgot.
Those that aren't used to deep sea water, basically for each hour you spend untreated underwater, you will be at risk of taking further cold damage. And that's just based on the pressure and temperature down here.
Shall we find accommodations and then work on sorting that out for you?
Not here at the moment. Remove.
He was here for just a second.
You could tell that everyone took a bunch of damage and could smell blood in the water. So, in search of somewhere to stay, or at least to recover, you head to one of the nearby, slightly smaller, just as intricately made of these great marble domes.
Would I know a good place for like to stay?
Specifically to stay, let me put it, next session you would do, yes. We'll put it that way. As I do need to flesh out a lot more of what you specifically know about Olantin. As I said, the two places I've got properly ready are a marketplace and the palace.
What do we want to do?
It's your home.
You guys also get a say in what we're doing.
Also, you can go inside the buildings on the map. I know the token set that I'm using has the top layer as well as the bottom layer, so I can move it out of the way. It was just to show you what the buildings look like from the outside.
Well, no decisions are being made. In we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was gonna say, wait. I'm gonna smack Zholk on the back though and use a charge of cure wounds.
probably for the best.
Oh, sweet, I'm on 7. Do I have any healing of my own? I also have cure wounds. However,
If you cast it, you would have to roll the bell and target yourself with it, yes.
yeah, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, probably not the best thing to do indoors. You never know, you could just summon a swarm of rats that would immediately drown.
It'd last at least like a minute.
I mean, they'd immediately take all that cold damage individually.
Oh,
Ooh.
so I need a way to acclimate to the area, then, don't I?
So, as you swim into this enclosed marketplace, you are essentially in a central hall for it at the moment. The far end of the room seems to be a Triton with relatively mundane wares, mostly food and clothing, that kind of thing. To the northeast is another Triton with. It seems to be, for want of a better term, scrolls, but waterproof. To the southeast is a merfolk, so a Triton with a fishtail, that doesn't seem to have any wares on display. The southwest is a married, I believe is the term, but let me actually double check. Yeah, married. And to the northwest is a Merrow with a bunch of weapons and armor. And these two rooms are sealed, or at the very least closed off. So you're not 100% sure what's in them.
Skuttz will walk in and look around. And yeah, she can't smell anything. So does she see anybody who might have any snacks?
I like the idea if you're just trying to snort in water. Although you've got the bubble around your head, so I guess it smells just of Skuttz in there. The most obvious one with snacks would be the Triton at the far end of the room, as they do have what seems to be food on sale. The Triton in the northeast. Oh no, I thought that was the scrolls. Yes, that would be the only one that you can immediately say. Yeah, the one at the far end of the room.
Was it
That one?
that one?
Yes.
She'll wander on over.
It looks at you with shock. Definitely wouldn't expect dry folk down here.
She'll wave at him very friendly. Oh, what kind of snacks are those? She just like excitedly looks at the food she's never seen before.
Well, it's I'm not particularly sure on what dry folk particularly like to eat.
Oh, I eat everything.
Okay. Uh, what kind of flavors are you looking for? We've got urchin, we've got some starfishes, we've got some various types of crabs, we've got some anemones, we've got all sorts.
She's gonna point at the starfish. I want one of those.
And how'd you like it prepared?
She shrugs. Chef's choice? She like rubs her hands together. She's like getting hungry now. This is gonna go so great with a big swig of that Nyx potion.
Delightful. As he grabs some small tongs and picks up one of the live starfish, turns about to a small desk or a small sort of worktop. Does some things that you can't quite see from over his shoulder, and turns and gives you a small bag that is still moving in his hands. That'd be 2 gold pieces.
She'll dig around in her bag and she'll give him 2 gold. And then she will rejoin the party.
Okay. You have mysterious edible starfish. Edible in quotes.
She's gonna swim up to Bennett. I got us a snack later. You're gonna love it. She knows nothing, it's just...
Unless anyone has some immediate shopping they want to do, I think it's best to probably put a pause there so I can prepare a bit more for next week. Now you're actually finally in Olantin. So yeah, unless there's some immediate shopping you would like to do.
Just anything.
Yeah, you'd have to investigate around as there's quite a few options for that. Yeah.
I do appreciate the shopping opportunity right after all my money goes missing.
When else would I give you this
Sorry.
opportunity?
God damn it.
Oh.
Although, I will mention that gold is typically not used as currency in Olantin. You'll probably need to exchange it with something for the types of currency they use in Olantin, which is shells and that like.
Oh, hold on. I got one of those Shelly coats somewhere. We're
fair.
rich. I just have to find
So
it.
a lot of the shells and jewels that Nadryn wears, essentially the types of currency they would also be using, as gold specifically is sacred to Thassa as sort of treasure donations in that sense. So they take the sea's bounty rather than civilized bounty, if that makes sense.
Did also take some things from a Shelly coat.
Yes, because Thassa doesn't see them as her treasure. That's your guy's treasure, whereas gold is Thassa's treasure.
Ah.
So if it's grown naturally underwater, then that's part of the sea's bounty to everyone else. Whereas if it's created by people and lost at sea, then that belongs to Thassa.
Alright. So theoretically, if they wanted to know more about the captain that we were sent to bring to them, how much would they pay for a flip book of the nightmare that I made him had?
Oh, God.
Because I kind of have one.
That's right.
That depends on how good of a flipbook it is while underwater.
Shit.
If you have a way to make it a waterproof flipbook, then it may have value to them. But
I've
also,
got something to think about for a week.
you weren't sent to bring the captain to them. Nadryn was sent to collect the treasure. You only found out the captain was the guy that stole the treasure because you happened to bump into him.
Found out when we were already on his boat.
Yeah. Kind of just let that one slip. Right, so we will pause there for today so I can make sure everything's prepared for next week. Let's do our end of session stuff. Notes. So, piety points. Everybody gets a point of piety for playing. Did you complete your minor divine agendas? Let's have a look. Yeah, because I opened the complete wrong part. So. Yeah, I'll give that to you, Zholk. Yeah, I'll give a point to Bennett as well. I will, give a point to Skuttz for that as well. And I will give a point to Nadryn. Yeah, you all completed your agendas. Did you perform a ritual sacrifice or great action in the name of your god? I'm going to say no for everyone, I think, because no one particularly sort of like reached out to them.
I sent Granny some sweet herbs.
Yes, that was your divine agenda.
Oh, Dan's
No,
one.
I know.
You did send her a.
I didn't expand her in.
Did you act in a
I
way
will-
that exemplifies the ideals of your patron god? Now that'll give a point to Skuttz because you sent her a dinosaur. I will
Yes.
also give a point to Zholk. I'll give a point to. I'll give a point to everyone. I'll give a point to Bennett and to Nadryn for that one. I think everybody acted how their patron god would expect from them. Story points. You get a point for playing. Did you overcome a great challenge using violent or non-violent means? No, you did not. This was not really a great challenge. However, did you make a significant discovery or unearth some lost history? Yes. Skuttz started to learn more about the Unibor. You finally arrived at Olantin after learning some more details on how Tritons work. Did you perform an act worthy of a new epithet? Does anyone feel like they've earned an epithet today?
Not
Sure,
for me.
Not blinking for 3 minutes.
Would an epithet of now what be appropriate?
So I think I am going to give a point to Zholk for I don't even know how I would word it. But the whole throw me at the dinosaurs, I'm going to drink beast broth and immediately get addicted back to it, and then we'll work it out from there, and then never worked it out from there. How I'll turn that into an ability for you to use, again, I have no idea. But I think I'm just going to call the ability, I have no idea.
That works.
There you go. Evil Eye Bennett. Yeah, I will definitely give Bennett his stink eye. As you made sure that Jemis was aware that you were glaring at him through your sunglasses.
I think I deserve an epithet for how extremely inappropriate it was for Skuttz to be distracted fawning over the chicken when she's finally meeting a freaking Unibor. That was infuriating.
That was entirely your fault as well, because you decided
It
to pull the
was.
chicken out.
Shouldn't have played with my chicken.
We'll put easily distracted.
That's a good one. I think it should be a negative one, though, not like a good one.
It may be a cursed one, yes.
Yeah, that definitely was cursed.
It was funny though.
I do want to give one to Nadryn for you acting as that sort of diplomat, that sort of could very clearly see that the party from Olantin weren't really trusting any of your friends, but even in spite of that, for want of a better term, prejudice, you stuck with your friends. And I think that's worthy of an epithet, so we'll put diplomat for that one.
Didn't think I'd get one, but yeah.
I think it works. Like I said to you, it was good roleplay. Okay. Loyalty. So this is for Neil and for Mr. Burbles. They get a point for playing. You get no points for fighting together, as there was no combat. Did you sacrifice something good? No. And did your companions perform any incredible actions? I don't think they did. So just
Does
the one
existing
point.
count?
Just being there, being best boy. But I think that's a reward in itself. Well, there we go. So, we will wrap up there. Thank you, everyone, for playing. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will enjoy your first exploration of Olantin next week. Gus, do you want to do your side of the sign off? Because I'd lost my train of thought.
No worries. I've been taking a quick break from streaming. I have moved, but I finally have my own studio / office again, so it's super exciting. But it's taken a little bit of work. I'll eventually get back to my regular streams, but for now, enjoy our chaos. We'll be back next Thursday. And if you catch me on Twitter, I'll be starting to post my stream schedules when I do start streaming again. So, yay. Organization. We're doing it. We got this. Follow Seder Atlas's YouTube. I gotta get that. We're doing a rehaul. I'm getting everything ready to go. So when I say my spiel, I can launch you guys the links in the thing. But check out my Twitter. I think my link's below for post updates and shit. My brain's fried. Moving. Anyways,
that
we
does
appreciate
remind me
everybody.
that I am hopefully getting my internet sorted sooner than later, so I should be able to start streaming my side of these sessions again soon.
Yay! Can watch the behind the scenes scramble for all of our idiot moments.
Yeah, see how I try and cope as a DM with the shit show my beautiful, beautiful players, torture me with.
Sorry, not sorry.
Thank you everyone so much for watching, lurking, and hanging out with us while we just cause a ruckus. Thank you so much. Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Goodbye.
Adios.
Bye.
We